Hi, this is Randy from Fedex Golf, and welcome to Over Easy. I just got done watching Rory McIlroy win the Deutsche Bank, and it was very exciting, very cool finish. Paul Casey, I thought was going to run away with it until he just made some early bogeys in the final round there and kind of put himself out of it. And then he actually had a chance on the 18th to bring it back with an eagle, which he put it on the fringe. He had a go at it, but did not convert. So Rory McIlroy wins. That was loud. Jeez, oh Pete's. Fireworks in the middle of the day. Anyway, just lost my train of thought. So I do want to talk about the Fedex Cup Championship, but before I get to that, I do want to briefly talk about the last episode I put on of Over Easy, where I kind of asked you guys what you thought of the channel, what you thought of the episodes, the Over Easy segments, and the response, once again, was just completely overwhelming. I was kind of doubting what I should do with this segment, if you liked the content, if you liked the direction it was going, and you guys pretty much, in summary, just said keep doing what you're doing, which I really appreciate that. I mean, I had some criticism, some suggestions on what to do. I did have a couple of you say don't get rid of the questions and answers segment because you guys appreciate that connection, that one-on-one interaction between myself and you. So I'm going to keep that going. I actually sat down here with the intention of doing a question and answer segment, but I lost all my questions. And I tried to go back, but there was just so many to sift through. So I'm just gonna start over. So if you guys have any questions for me, definitely put them down in the comment section below, and I'll do a question and answers next week. But I do want to talk about the Fedex Cup Championship because it's starting to become very exciting. You have Patrick Reed, who won the Barclays. You have Rory McIlroy, who just won the Deutsche Bank. Next week, or this coming week I should say, is the BMW at Crooked Stick. And a lot of you have asked me if I'm going to be attending because you put together that Crooked Stick is in Indiana and I live in Indiana. It's about an hour and 45-minute drive. I am not planning on attending. However, if any of you happen to come across a ticket and you want to, let me know, I might show up. But at this point in time, I do not plan on going. Now, I have been to the BMW Championship before at Crooked Stick, actually, and it was when Rory won. And it was an amazing experience. And the reason is because this was the first time I ever saw Tiger Woods on a golf course. So when I went down there, my intention was to watch him play one hole up close and personal. So I planted myself on a par 4 green, and I was right up against the ropes. I was 12 feet off the back of the green, and I sat there for 2 hours with my wife, and we waited for Tiger to come through. Now the cool thing was is that since you have the top players in the world only playing in the Fedex Cup at this point, I got to see everybody. I got to see Ernie Els, Phil Mickelson, Rory McIlroy, Dustin Johnson, Bubba Watson. Anybody you can think of came through that hole. And the cool part of it is that while I'm standing there, the crowd fluctuates. The patrons flow in, they flow out with the different size groups, obviously following your better players. When Phil came through, it got a little busy. When Rory came through, it got a little busy. You're talking 2 or 3 people behind me. But when Tiger Woods stepped onto the tee box, it started to buzz. The hole started to hum, just with that conversation and the anticipation people had waiting for him to tee off and waiting for him to play that hole. And as I stood there, it starts at the green, and the crowd just starts to gather around you. And it's like nothing I've ever experienced before. It just started to grow and grow to the point where I couldn't see the end of people behind me, where you're talking 15, 20 people deep at the green, and then it just grows down the fairway to the point where you can't see any other hole. At least I couldn't from my vantage point because I'm not very tall. But it lined the fairway, and as he hit his shot down the middle of the fairway, everything started to buzz, and then he hits his approach shot to the green, and people cheer louder just from him hitting the green as I watched other people hit the green all day. But it was so cool, and it was so fun, and if you've never had the experience, I hope that he comes back to the game just for those people that have never had the opportunity and can eventually experience what I experienced. But as he came to the green, he marked his ball, and he actually walked off the backside, and he stood 8 feet away from me. And I have never, as a grown adult, felt like a kid more in my life. It was just like, there's the guy that I see on TV and that I've idolized for such a long time, and he just stood 8 feet in front of me, and it was very cool. I do want to give my brief prediction and insight to the Fedex Cup, and I also have some exciting news to share with you just in a second here. But right now you have Patrick Reed leading. You have Jason Day in the points right behind him in second place. Rory's now top 5, and you have some other players in there who I think could potentially win this, but I really think right now it's for me anyway, it's 3 people are in the conversation, and I know a lot of you are going to argue this point, but I really feel like Patrick Reed has a good chance to win this because I think he likes being a front runner. I think he's very arrogant and he's cocky, and he has that mindset where he likes to play with the lead, it seems like. So I feel Patrick Reed, I think he might win. So after the BMW, I think that Patrick Reed, Rory McIlroy, or Jason Day has the lead. And I think going into the Tour Championship, one of those 3 walks away with it. Now for the big news. Quentin and I are going to be at the Tour Championship. We're getting flown down there. We'll be down there Tuesday, Wednesday for the practice round, and Thursday for the first round. So if you're going to the tournament and you want to say hi, you want to get a picture taken with us, I know it would mean a lot to Quentin because he's super lonely, and it would really make his day for you to come up and just recognize him and just appreciate him because he needs it. Now the reason we're going to the Tour Championship and not the BMW is because we actually won a contest. We were approached by our Bridgestone rep and he said, Randy, I see the content you guys make. Bridgestone is running a social media contest and I want you guys to participate in it. And he basically told me to submit a short video and they're gonna draw a winner and they're gonna fly the winner down to the Tour Championship in Georgia. And I was like, maybe, we'll see. So I thought about it for about a half a day. I came up with an idea and I made this video. What are you doing?
Katie just got her permit, so I'm making some modifications to her car.
What's with all these golf balls?
These aren't just golf balls, okay? These are the new Bridgestone B330RX balls. They're designed for an impact under 105 mile an hour. So I'm gluing them to the front of her car so that she's safer on the road.
Sounds pretty stupid. Now if you're new to the channel and you haven't seen that video before, I'll put a link up here where you can click and you can watch the rest of it. But that was good enough to win us first place. And I was contacted by Bridgestone and they're flying us down and they're putting us up in a hotel and letting us stay down there and watch the Tour Championship. So in the next couple weeks, we should have some pretty exciting content coming with us going down to the Tour Championship. And I'm gonna do some video work with Quentin along the way and hopefully you guys see a little bit more of him on the channel. But I did make a what's in the bag for Scuba Steve. And you guys have been hounding me about this and asking me for it, and I finally made it, and I'm so glad I did because I've made a lot of videos on this channel so far. I've never laughed as hard as I have laughed editing a video as I did this one. I hope you guys enjoyed as much as I did. I know I'm building it up, but I think it's partially because he's my dad, and I think he's one of the funniest people ever just because he's not trying to be funny. He just is hilarious to me for some reason. So please be sure to check out the Scuba Steve What's in the Bag. It should be coming in the next couple days unless you're watching this way in the future, in which case it exists. So go find it, Scuba Steve What's in the Bag. Thank you guys so much for watching, subscribing to the channel, all your continued support throughout our journey and adventure here. So hopefully you stay tuned and watch some the content coming up down the road. And until then, I will see you guys next time.